everyone, it's Darby from rejoiceandcreate.com, and I'm feeling a little festive today because I want to show you this project. And these are adorable little holders, and they will hold treats, but they're made to hold one of the Bath & Body Works hand sanitizers. Now, they have quite a few of these. They come in different colors and different scents, and you can certainly find ones that you enjoy using. This one has mermaids makes waves, and that would be a really cute one for a girls themed party. But today I wanted to do something a little bit festive. And if you're thinking about Christmas, I wanted to show you a couple of things that you could do with just your layering shapes. Now, this is a basic little box, and it's 1 inch by 1 3/4 inches, and the compartment of it is, let's see, 3 inches tall. And yes, this is Blackberry Bliss, and yes, this is the retired DSP. I still have some hanging around, so I'm using up what I have. And I'm hoping that after I show you this, you can use up what you have too. You don't need any special dies. If you have some layering ovals and some layering circles, then you can make these cute little winter themed critters. Alright, for the box itself, I start with a piece of DSP that is 3 3/4 inch wide and 10 inches long. But I cut a 3 3/4 inch strip off of the 12-inch strip, and when I cut at 10 inches, I'm going to save this piece for the hat and the scarf because we'll use it for that. Now I'm going to go ahead and make another bag, one for each of them, and I'll show you how the bag is made, and then I'll show you how quick and easy these little guys are to put together. Alright, so as I said, I have a 3 3/4 inch wide strip, and this one was just cut right off of a 12-inch piece of DSP stack, so I'm going to cut it down to 10 inches. And this piece I'll save for my scarf and my hats. Now for this piece, what I'm going to do is score this one at 1.5 inches, 4.5 inches, 5.5 inches, and 8.5 inches. And then I'll turn it to the side, and I'll score it at 1 inch on each side. Okay. Alright, so go ahead and fold your score lines. I'm just going to burnish them with my fingers. Okay, so we have a 1.5 inch section on each end, and what I'm going to do, let's see, can you see it better on that side maybe? I'm going to just cut right up that score line, the 1.5 inch one from the end, right to that 1 inch score inch from the side. And I'm going to do that on both sides of this end. And I'll do it on the other end as well. Okay, and now I'm just going to take a minute and take some glue, and we're just going to make those ends. It makes the top a little bit neater. So I'll just flop that over, and you can use any glue on this part. And flop these two ends over too. Alright, now we're going to move to the middle part. We have 1 inch wide score at the end, and that'll be the bottom of the box. So go ahead and cut straight along the rectangular side of that and just slightly notch into the square side. Okay, now before we glue our box together, we're going to make the edges a little decorative on our top section, and because it's DSP, it will punch pretty well. You can use a corner rounder punch, a decorative corner punch, and on this one I'm just going to go ahead and use a corner rounder punch. And I'll do it on both sides, on both ends. Alright, now I'm also going to take a 1/4 inch punch and kind of eyeball it. You can measure it if you want, but I'm just going to try to punch into the end here. And I'm going to flip this over and line these both sides up and punch in the same spot so I have them lined up. Alright, so let's go ahead and just put our box together. If there's a side that looks better, or if there's a side that's upright, that could be your front. And I think I'll make this one my front over here. So I'm going to put glue on both of the insides of the side tabs. And I'll just put a titch in on the tabs as well so it holds them in place. Okay, so I'll hold this up, push the back parts up, and fold that front part over once I have it lined up. Okay, and I'll take my bone folder and just fold those tabs to attach and press down the sides. All right, so that's my bag. It's really kind of cute. If you want to, you can kind of just push in the top parts a little bit. But we'll go ahead and take our hand sanitizer and we'll tuck that down in there. And you can tie it any way you want. I think I'll use some cording on this one because I have it handy. All right, so let me just put that through. And if you want to, you can put a little tag on the back as well at this point and just tie it to the twine. Okay, let me just go ahead and clip that. So I have another one already made for my other critter, because I'll make one of each, and this is how we go. All right, so now let's do the little penguin first. Let me bring my little penguin guy back in and I'll show you what I used. All right, for him, I used the largest stitched oval that I have that would fit on my box. So what I did is I took my oval, and you take whatever layering oval you have and just kind of fit it there and see which one fits the box nicely that would fill that box. So I used the Stampin' Up stitch shapes, the ovals. And the second one down is the one I used for the body. So I have a black one in the second size down. Now for the belly, I just used the next smallest one. Let me take these off. Here's the biggest one, or the second one down, and I used it for the black for the penguin. The second one down, and whatever next size down one you have of your layering sets, just use the next one down for his belly. And I cut that one out of white. All right. Now for his wings, I actually used the smallest one, and I cut it out of black, and then cut it in half lengthwise to make his wings. Now I also used the smallest one for his feet, and this time I cut it out of orange, and I'll show you how I cut his feet from the smallest one. Now I also used a piece of scrap of orange for his beak, and I simply cut a triangle and kind of rounded the edges, the size that I wanted for his face. And his eyes were just 2 of the 1/4 inch circles. I just cut a couple of the 1/4 inch circles from the handheld punch out of black. And I cut a few of them out because sometimes they get a little bit of a edge on them. They don't cut cleanly, and I try to find the ones that were cut cleanly for his eyeballs. All right, so the only thing that's left is his hat. Now for this hat, I actually used the punch from Stampin' Up, and I think it's retired now. I can't remember for sure, but this is the little hat. Looks like a Santa hat, and you can use that one. It fits very well. But if you don't have that one, for my little snowman, I actually made a little stocking cap, and that's this. And I made it out of the 3rd largest oval that I used. So that was the largest, the 2nd largest. So the 3rd largest, the same size that I cut the belly of the penguin out of, I cut a piece of pattern paper out of for the hat. And that's what I'll do for this one. And I cut a piece of the DSP out of it. All right, so let's put our little penguin together. Let me move these guys over this way for a minute. I used liquid glue on all of it, so it gave me a chance to wiggle things around. Just put a little glue on there. And I kind of centered this down a little bit. I maybe butted it up to the stitching on the bottom, so I was a little bit more black on the top than on the bottom. For the wings, I just cut this one in half lengthwise. Oops. And with this, let's see, right stitching side up. I just put a little glue up on one side and kind of tucked it under. And same with the other one. Tuck them in a little bit. Okay. All right. For the feet, what I did is I just took this smallest oval and I folded it in half. And then right along, just above that line, I just made 3 little kind of reverse scallops. All right, so I have the little penguin feet. And just go ahead and put those on the bottom of your penguin. Ah, bottom of the penguin. Okay, then I went ahead and put his beak in place. And I said that was just free cut, a little free cut triangle, the size that you'd like. I think his is a little longer, this one, than the other, but I think it makes them all cute. All right, so let me go ahead and just put a couple of dots, and I put those right at the top of the beak, and put one of these 1/4-inch circles on there. And I tried to find the cleanest looking ones. That was cleaner. Tuck the edge under. There we go. All right, and just to give them a little bit of characters in the eyeball, I used a Signo Uniball pen because I find that these are help me draw the best. Actually, I think it has the best white. And I gave him a couple little eyeballs. All right, and then we'll go ahead and make his hat. And how I made the hat was actually I took the same size as his belly. I folded this one in half. And this actually makes 2 hats, so if you're making a bunch of these, it works well. I cut it right along the fold line and set one aside, and here's my other one. And what I did was I just, if I wanted it to be the white side, I just folded up the brim from the opposite side, tried to make it look even. Oops. Not very even. Okay, and I just cut it straight up because it's an oval, it kind of went out a little bit. So I just cut that straight up, and we'll glue that one down. All right, and I'll just take a scrap of the same paper and punch a 1/2-inch circle out of it. Oops, and flat all over. And then just glue that to the top. And there's my little snow cap, stocking cap. And let's glue it to the top of his head. And let me go ahead and glue them to one of my boxes. And what I did there was I popped them up on some foam tape or dimensionals, whatever I find first. Oh, I have some dimensionals. So let me go ahead and just pop them up on some dimensionals. And we'll pop him up on the top of the box. Isn't that cute? So let's go ahead and do our snowman. And what I used for the snowman was I just found the biggest circle that would fit on him, and that happened to be the 3rd largest stitch circle from Stampin' Up. You could use any layering circle you have. And then I just got the next smallest one to be his head. So that's what I cut out, and I cut them out of white. Now for his eyes and the two coal lumps, I actually used some neutral candy dots. You can use some of the enamel dots, or you can use punch out some of the 1/4" circles and use that as well. Or you can just use a Sharpie and draw his face on. But one thing I did cut, because I like the orange, was his nose. And how I did that, I just cut kind of a triangle, a long triangle. And then I curved the edge a bit, end a bit, because I like to have him a little bit of a curved nose. Now I didn't want it too long, so I took it from there and kind of did a curve in the back. And just titched off these little corners here. And that's his nose. Alright, so let's go ahead and put our snowman together. The only thing we have left to do is to cut his scarf. And I just layered over that just a little bit. And let me go ahead and just put a bit for his nose, a little glue. I think it's kind of cute when the nose is up a little bit. Alright, and let me go ahead and I'm going to use up my probably last 2 black enamel dots. As I said, you can draw it on, or you can use a 1/4" circle punch. Alright, so that's pretty cute. Okay, and this time I'm going to use this hat too. Let me go ahead and fold that up. Hopefully a little neater than last time. And it makes a cute little stocking cap. Alright, we'll just glue it on his head. Okay, now the only thing we have left to do is his scarf. And this one I did freehand, and I used that same piece of scrap that we cut off. And what I did is I kind of cut a curve to go along under his head, and then I just, sorry I'm out of the screen, I just cut a curve that would kind of fit along the bottom of his head, and then I just did about maybe 3/8 of an inch kind of to echo it. And then after that I just cut a couple of straight ones. So I just glued this underneath his neck. And then just cut off the excess. Cut these a little bit thinner. Okay, and then I just took my scissor and just gave him a little bit of a fringe. Curved it and kind of made it a little bit fringy looking on both of them. Okay, oops, it's sticking to me. Alright, so I made one a little longer and one a little bit shorter. So let me put that one on out that way, and we'll go ahead and glue that other one on, going down. And I used up all of my blacks, so let me go ahead and put a couple. I think I have some dark, yeah, I can use some of the dark ones for it, the dark. Should I use those, or shoot, let me go ahead and use these guys. And he's pretty cute too. Let me go ahead and put some dimensionals on him. Alright, let's go ahead and put him on his box. And I think they're pretty cute. And they certainly have a lot of personality. So I hope you enjoyed my Christmas in July project. If you liked the video, please subscribe and hit the bell if you want to be notified of new videos as I post them. For more information, please go to rejoiceandcreate.com. And as always, until we meet again, I hope your days are blessed. Bye!